Rotary Club of Transamadi Port Harcourt hosted one of our prestigious academic competition in Africa, the Spelling Bee, the 8th and 23rd primary and 2nd edition, respectively, with the theme, the Spelling Bee Project, since 2011. The maiden edition was aimed at achieving an academic platform where primary and secondary schools across Nigeria would compete and perform well in English, aptitude test, ability, and to further extend the Rotary Club of Transamadi to other like NGOs as a contribution.
A person who acts independently or remains neutral, especially in politics. The Maglum.
What again?
Not to call.
Is it not to call?
A black and a brand new HP laptop. Okay, you can give us music for the winner.
Thank you for all these things they did for me. It's not easy to be the winner. You have to work efforts to be the winner. You have to believe in God. I'm from Jamaica International School, so some are still very edition of Spelling Bee. Last year, I think I won it, and this year I should have represented to it because I'm not tagged as a selfish. And my message to the Rotary Club is that small grace to them. May God bless them, and may they continue to flourish among their equals. Thank you.
So I'm very happy to be part of this edition of Rotary Club of Transamadi Spelling Bee primary category. It was very exciting, very challenging. We saw the defending champion stand ground, and it was a good fight. I want to sincerely appreciate Rotary Club of Transamadi for the good work they are doing. This is not easy. I know a project like this costs a lot of money, so I want to thank them very well and pray that God will continue to bless them and they will excel in everything they do.
Atlantic Television Network News participants at the event said that the competition has helped in adding more to their learning ability.
It is a major event or project that we've been executing for 13 years now. And over time, our major challenge has been funding. Because all these years, it's a club that has actually been sponsoring the competition. Apart from this year and 3 years ago that we got support from Nigerian LNG Limited. But apart from those 2 years, the funding of the project has been from members of the club, and it has been a very big burden for us. We made several attempts to see how the state governments will come in to assist in sponsoring the project, but it has not been fruitful. You know, because of the scope of the Spelling Bee competition, it's a competition that involves over 500 primary and secondary schools every year. So the logistics for the competition is really very massive. We are looking forward to a time when Rivers State government will actually come in to partner with us to make the competition bigger and better for the students of
Earlier, the chairman of the Spelling Bee Committee of the Rotary Club of Transamadi, Imawoke, said that one of the major challenges faced was funding and further called for more sponsorship, especially from the state government. Chairman Morrison Communication Limited, Dr. Chinyere Igwe's staff and well-wishers yesterday, the 29th of February 2024, held a night of tribute in honor of late lead commercial Prophetess Scholar Ijoma Ejogu, who passed on the 5th of January 2024. Highlights of the tribute includes praises and worship, Bible reading, which was taken by the CEO Morrison Communication Limited, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, brief sermon by Reverend Hilary, among others. There was also a chain prayers to late Ijeoma's family members and friends. During the event, which had all participants in all black attires, Chief Executive Morrison Communication Limited, Dr. Chinyere Igwe was unable to give his tribute due to deep grief, but surrendered the late staff to the company to the eternal rest of God Almighty. However, friends and well-wishers who attended the night of tribute spoke to Atlantic Television Network.
I am very much sure that the company Morrison Group will find it difficult to replace the presence of Ijeoma, but I pray God knows best. Like the preacher said, God has given, God has taken, He knows best. May our soul rest in gentle peace.
We can't question God, but we thank God for the short life she lived. He made us know her, came in contact with her. We pray she rests in the bosom of the Lord while we meet to part no more at Jesus' feet. Thank you.
She told me, Choma, I'm fine. The surgery is successful. Reaching first, she said, Choma, don't worry, I'll come your same forth. I was hoping to see her, only for me to call on the second, and somebody said she cannot talk now. I started praying for her from there, but it's a pity that she's no more.
Unfortunately, death is one thing that you cannot even question.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has objected to incessant strikes and threats of industrial action by the Nigeria Labour Congress. Noting the ruptured relations between government and Labour, he faulted the 4 industrial actions within 9 months of the administration. The president, who reflected on the pattern of acrimony, urged the NLC to pull the brake, saying that Tinubu spoke in Lagos, where he inaugurated the first phase of the 37-kilometer Lagos Rail Mass Transit Red Line. The landmark project of the Sanwo-Olu administration is designed to ease intracity transportation. After reading his prepared speech, the president, who said he wanted to throw a jab, chided the Joe Ajero-led NLC for regressing into partisan politics. Noting that participation is a right, President Tinubu, however, asked NLC to wait until 2027 to participate in the electoral process. On Tuesday, NLC organized a two-day nationwide protest to ventilate workers' grievances over the rising cost of living. It suspended the action after the first day. Governorship aspirants under the platform of the All Progressives Congress in the state have raised the alarm over political violence in the state ahead of the next month's governorship primary election of the party. The party's primary election has been slated for next month, and no fewer than 20 aspirants have declared their governorship ambitions in the ruling All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party in the state. They said that President Bola Tinubu's visit to the state was turned to a theater of violence, with their supporters attacked and their billboards defaced and pulled down by thugs. Speaking on behalf of their aspirants, a former finance commissioner in the state, Wale Akintarinwa, said that his supporters and that of other governorship aspirants were attacked by thugs sponsored by those in government. A statement issued by Akintarinwa's spokesperson, Shegun Ajiboye, in Akure, said that the thugs who brazenly fired gunshots into the air to cause confusion went on a destruction spree as they attacked property, while billboards of other gubernatorial aspirants were defaced, pulled down, or outrightly destroyed. In its bid to restore the aesthetic value and master plan of Abakaliki Capital City, the Ministry of Capital City and Urban Development on Wednesday demolished over 30 illegally constructed shops and container-mounted in unauthorized areas within the metropolis. Speaking during the demolition exercise at Central Park Access or Trudeau Centenary City, the Commissioner for Capital City Development, Sunday Inyima, said that the owners of the illegal structures were properly notified before the action was taken. The Commissioner noted further that the demolished structures were built on a place designated as service lane and built without any approval from the ministry, hence the need to remove them. Gombe government says it has recorded 6 deaths out of 95 suspected cases of the cerebrospinal meningitis in the state. The state recorded suspected cases of the disease in Nafada and Funakai local government areas. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Habu Dahiro, stated this at a news conference in Gombe. He said the ministry had deployed a medical team to Nafada to contain the disease, sequel to the report about cases with symptoms suggestive of CSM. Dahiri said the 6 deaths recorded were not enough to declare the disease an outbreak because they have not reached the threshold for CSM, which is confirmed cases in a population of 100,000 in 1 week. He said the state, in collaboration with partners, activated an emergency operations center comprising the WHO, UNICEF, NCDC for suspected CSM and also ruled out Lassa fever. According to him, the EOC is saddled with the responsibility to control the spread of the detected CSM cases in Funakai. Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike has approved the promotion of 8,785 workers of the FCT administration. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Federal Capital Territory Administration, Udo Samuel Atang, who announced this yesterday, said the workers sat for promotion examinations, passed and promoted to the next rank in accordance with the public service rules. Breakdown of the promotion showed that out of the 9,710 officers in the various secretariats, departments and agencies who participated in last year's promotion examination, 925 were unsuccessful. Further analysis showed that out of the 3,924 eligible officers, of Common Services Department who participated in the examination, 3,295 were promoted. A statement by the Director of Information and Communication in the FCT, Mohammed Hazard Sule, said out of the 674 education officers and assistant education officers that participated in the exercise, 3,428 were promoted. Zamfara State Police Command has confirmed that 3 people were abducted and 1 rescued after bandits attacked a mosque. This was contained in a statement issued by the command spokesman, ASP Yazid Abdullahi, which was made available to newsmen in Gusau, the state capital. According to the statement, on February 29, 2024, unknown armed men suspected to be armed bandits with sophisticated weapons surreptitiously sneaked into a Jumat's mosque in Safi local government area of Zamfara State, with the intent to perpetrate massive abductions. However, the worshippers managed to escape, except 3 elderly persons who were later abducted to an unknown destination. You are watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break. Welcome back. This is Atlantic Television, Transition on Atlantic Television Network. Now the rest of our stories. House of Representatives has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to comprehensively review the 2012 Orosanye Report, the Goni Aji Report, which reviewed Orosanye Report, the White Paper of the President Jonathan Administration, the Ama Pepper White Paper, and the Ebele Okeke White Paper in line with the current realities. The Green Chamber also urged the executive arm of government to develop and implement policies that will reposition the agricultural sector, the solid mineral sector, and the informal sectors, which will serve as alternatives to those that may be laid off consequentially, while at the same time spurring economic growth. The resolution was passed sequel to the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by Honorable Kama Nkema.
The House warned that the full implementation of the report 12 years after it was first made, which ordinarily may be described as outdated, especially because of how dynamic the society, economy, policy, technology, and all facets of our national life has been. The House concerned that it's contrary to the assumption that the full implementation of the report will reduce cost of governance with the current realities. The full implementation of the report will not substantially reduce the cost of governance, as it does not reflect the current situation in the public service of the Federation. The House deeply worried that the full implementation of 2012 Rosa report in 2024 will certainly throw up unintended consequences, implications, and outcomes. The House.
In another development, the House of Representatives urged the Joint Admission Matriculation Board to extend the registration for 2 weeks to enable the anticipated potential candidates to register for the 2024 UTME. The decision followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance by Bello Shinkafi.
Worried that the online registration, which constituted setback to non-conversant candidates who anticipated for the examination participation, will not achieve the core objective because of imminent deadline, which requires your legislative attention and intervention. Also worried, without extension of the registration, many candidates will not be able to register and participate in the exercise. And that means there will not be a wider coverage and participation in this year's UTMB examination in Nigeria. Convinced that your quick response to the extension of time by 2 weeks will encourage the parents of this candidate to persistently register their children. Importantly, this will reassure the public on the confidence of this current administration in Nigeria.
The House also mandated relevant Committee on Education and Legislative Compliance to enforce strict compliance. Federal Ministries of Education and Health were also urged to collaborate and develop a mandatory drug testing program for secondary school students in Nigeria. This followed a motion by Moshood Oshun titled "The Need to Introduce Mandatory Drug Testing for Secondary School Students in Nigeria."
Also worried that according to studies which showed a notable prevalence of drugs and substance abuse across secondary schools in Nigeria, 1 in every 4 students between 15 to 19 years abuse substances. Syrup containing codeine and tramadol top the list of drugs, ranking higher than cannabis. Aware that random student drug testing, RSDT, is a drug prevention program whereby students are tested for recent use of illegal substance, and is aimed at deterring drug use and identifying students who need help with staying drug-free. Cognizant that a mandatory routine and random drug testing for students is for preventive, not punitive purposes, and early intervention is crucial for achieving success.
Further urged the National Orientation Agency and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to increase awareness about substance abuse among secondary school students nationwide. And that's the size of the package. Thanks for joining us. I am Valentina Lawrence. You can follow us on all our social media platforms on X Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you. Have a lovely morning.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact